answering your questions about retirement. It's Money Talk with Michael Eastham.
I keep hearing about the coming recession and how it's going to make the stock market crash. How long does a recession last, and what impact can it have on my ability to retire if I want to retire in 2 years?
Excellent question. How long does a recession last? Well, let me pull out my tea leaves here and my crystal ball, and I'll rub it down and see if I can get a good answer for you. That's just a little tongue-in-cheek there, but the reality is I don't know, and neither does any economist that's out there. What we do have is history. So we can look at history and say typically a recession might last anywhere from 2 to 4 years or something along those lines. That'd be a long time. But at the same time, you have recoveries, right? We go through these economic cycles, and these cycles are made up of recession and recovery. So how would it affect your retirement? That is a bigger question, and one that's very important for you to consider, especially if you're just 2 years away from retirement. You see, in a recession, the stock market tends to go down. So if you're invested in growth investments, whether they be individual common stocks that are designed for growth, or mutual funds or ETFs, or even bond funds for that matter, that are designed more to grow over time. Well, if the market drops by 40 or 50%, then let's say you have $500,000. If you're 2 years away from retirement and we hit into a recession and we have a bad drop in the market of 40 or 50%, well, your $500,000 now becomes $250,000. Well, remember what I said. Sometimes a recession can last 2 to 4 years. So if you're 2 years away from retirement and we go into a recession right at the front end of that 2 years, well, you may not recover by the time you want to retire. That means that you may have to hold on. However, if you reposition your investments into an income strategy based on interest and dividends that tend to be, number one, less risky, and number two, generating interest and dividends on a more dependable, predictable basis, well, now the market fluctuations aren't nearly as big of a concern for you, because generally speaking, in a well-diversified income-oriented investment allocation, well, that income tends to continue good year or bad year, right? Now, there are certain types of instruments where they're going to cut dividends and all that kind of stuff. But again, you've got to make sure that if that's the strategy that you're going to put in place, that you are working with an advisor that specializes in income, that really knows the types of vehicles that can benefit you the most when you're 2 years away from retirement, or you're in retirement and you need that income. I hope that helps. I wish I could answer the absolute recession question, but my crystal ball is a little bit fuzzy and tends to stay that way from year to year. Let me know if we can help you think it through. We can also make sure that you've got the strategy that supports the goals that you have as you approach and enter retirement.
If you've got a financial question you'd like to have answered, click on the link below to submit your question. You may hear your answer on an upcoming edition of Money Talk.